remember when you were a kid, how many times you get in trouble because you had the natural movement behavior in you, you were expressing it, and you may not even remember that this happened. You were expressing it with confidence, with joy, with that energy. And what were you told to do? To stop. So first, my dad, my father my whole family is from Brittany, so I'm more like a Scottish or Irish than I'm French. Actually, it's the whole French thing is a whole mistake. and back then, when he was a kid, so we're talking about in the 40s, 50s, he was a kid. There was no entertainment the way we know them today. So he grew up entertaining himself, climbing trees, being outside, playing outside. The older guys among us will understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's true that it tends to disappear more and more with younger generations. And we're trying to do something about that because we do need to move and we do need to be outside and to do real things. So he was doing all these real things. What's the real thing? For instance, to climb a tree, it's potentially dangerous. It's potentially risky. You could hurt yourself. Any of these movements you do outside, you can hurt yourself. Now you sit on a machine to isolate your legs or your upper body, your shoulders or biceps, whatever it is. What's going to happen? Maybe you're going to pinch your finger or something. It's really completely a different mindset and different experience. So my dad taught me very early on to do these things, to do these movements. He wanted me to be strong. He had that intuition that this interaction with reality, with real life experiences, that experiential knowledge was a foundation of my education as a young boy, as important as going to school, learning math and learning geography and French and all these things. So I would be scared and would say, look, so first, calm yourself where you are. Now let's see where are you going next. Where would you place your foot? Where do you place your hand? Another example was once he climbed a hill and he said, I was so young, I could not remember that memory. He climbed a small hill and it was kind of muddy and waited for me up there, but did not help me. And I started to slide down and I couldn't make it. And I started to whine and to ask for help. And he said, I believe you can do it. Keep going, keep trying. And eventually I made it. I don't remember that memory. He told me, he said after that, he said, I was probably too hard. It was hard for you, but you made it. So he taught me, I believe, timeless values of, relying on yourself, quieting yourself, looking at solution, believing that you can achieve something, real life-based, experience and knowledge. So that's certainly a very important foundation. Then he would also let me go in the woods for hours alone or with my brothers, my friends, but most of the time I would go alone and I would climb big boulders and trees and run up and down the hill. I would do all these things. So that's a feeling. Because a feeling is so important in our life, isn't it? A feeling and an early experience, because also we know that our early experience matters so much. That was so positive, so enjoyable, so healthy and natural. Later in my life, I wonder why is it that there's not a single fitness method out there that basically recommends to do the same or to at least provide an environment, a context, and a method that would bootstrap people, back to this practice even when they've lost the instinct, the drive, the understanding, the behavior, the reflex, whatever we call it.
Well, it sounds like your father also really taught you to trust your body and your own experience, and and not rely on a lot of the experts and all the other things that this society continues to sort of lay on us, and just really instilled in you, as you said, sort of, or maybe reunited your instinctual ability to connect to a movement, your body, trust yourself, be able to rely on your innate abilities and your ability to build those qualities.
Exactly, Marcus. And I'm going to tell you this. I didn't need to reconnect with it because it wasn't me. It's in you, all of you, Joe, Frank, Nick, Greg, David, Michael, Chad, all of you, Tim, and all of us that I won't have time to name that are here today. Remember when you were a kid, how many times you got in trouble because you had the natural movement behavior in you, you were expressing it, and you may not even remember that this happened. You were expressing it with confidence, with joy, with that energy. And what were you told to do? To stop. Mm-hmm. That you were going to hurt yourself, that you were too noisy, that you were going to get dirty. Always some conventional reason why this innate behavior that was in you and that needed a way out and we needed a way to express could not be expressed. It was never the right time, never the right place, and never the right behavior. For most of us, it happened like that. I'm very lucky that it didn't happen to me that way. What does that say? It's a first form of limitation of the pure natural expression of who you are that is healthy and that is natural and that needs to go on for your whole life. Why is that? Because the truth is that everyone wants to be strong. Everyone wants to feel confident and competent to be useful to self and to be useful to the community they belong to, a family, a neighborhood, a church, a community of whatever kind. You want to know that you are reliable to yourself and that others are reliable. That others could rely on you if need be, in whatever form. By the way, physicality or physical competency being one of the forms, and not the only form, obviously. And so you are born and you grew up early on with that instinct. It's extremely important because it's a very important foundation that's going to determine if you acquire that sense of self, that sense of competence, physical competence, that confidence, and it's a form of empowerment that is acquired through these experiences early on, because the body and the physical competency is your first form of self-confidence. Of course, then there's also social skills, and there are all professional skills, things you're good at, things that you can talk about for being good at, that makes you feel good that you have these qualities and those skills. But that physical competency, to be incarnated, to be embodied. How do you know you're embodied? Well, because you move, because you feel how your body truly is, what it does, the way you breathe, the way you move, and then in what environment you move, where that movement ability applies. And it's great to dance, and it's great to do Tai Chi, and it's great to do sports, but it's great to step outside of the house, look at wherever you are, and know that if you had to, you could run for distance or for speed. You could pick up somebody and put them on your back and carry them. You could climb that obstacle. You could, you could just help the neighbor move their heavy furniture without fearing that you're going to tweak your back.